Greetings, Patrick here from the Midnight Society on the cat. Every time we do, oops, what is going on here? Is that me echoing?
I hear a little echo.
Check one, check one. Okay. Oh,
Golden.
someone's echoing.
Not me.
Is that me? Is that me?
Mm-mm. Is that me? Let's see. Test 1, 2.
It's you.
It's you.
Wow, that's really strange.
Let's see, we were having technical difficulties a while ago.
Yeah, we were too.
That should not be happening. Test 1.
You got back feet.
Can you hear me all right?
Oh, that's good.
That's
Wait.
good. Just a little back feet.
Yeah, I don't know where that was from.
That's better.
All right. Wow, I turned off everything too. All right. Anyway, yes, we've been having some difficulties, but now we're back. We're ready to rock and roll. We're going to be talking about Cut Bank. And joining me will be, we'll start with the bottom with the Wonder Twins and swing it up to the master of all things A24. Come on up and say hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Our good friend the Gnat will not be making it today. He is underneath the weather. He will be taking care of some things, and he said that he'll be buzzing in for the next show, and so we'll look forward to that. That's too bad too, because I really wanted to hear his stuff.
Takeaways.
Takeaway from this one, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how about this? I picked this out because I have a lot of people don't know this, but because I'm always talking about A24, right? But a lot of people don't know is that I have a lot of early releases, and I really like them quite a bit. And to me, I said, well, I can't think of a better thing to do than to come up here and talk about some of the older pre-hype A24 projects.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just want to go around and ask you guys, what was your first impression of Cut Bank? Had you ever heard of it before I came to you with this one? Or
oh, you know what, Patrick? I love that we actually got a chance to watch this film. We have not heard of it, so it wasn't even on our radar. So I just appreciated it was a film that we didn't know about, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like every time someone was on screen, I was like, "Oh my god!" Like the caliber of talent in this small film was so epic. So that's what I'll start with.
how about you, Monty?
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. Like I said before we came on, like I said before, it kind of reminded me like Fargo, kind of a little bit of No Country for Old Men, because of the different players of different things that was going on it. Only thing I really didn't like was Liam Hemsworth.
Me too.
Yeah. That does happen. We were talking about that before we came on, and it does happen where inexperience, could be insecurity, could be. I mean, there's a lot of things why actor comes in there and they get overmatched. It's like come on there. It's like the actor, they're all their scene partners are just amazing. You got Oscar nominees, you got Oscar winners, you got, and it's like sometimes, back there in 2013 when they filmed this movie, he was probably relatively new. And hell, even Theresa Palmer, who played his love interest, she had a lot of cachet by then. And so I think what happens is that sometimes a young actor or actress will get overwhelmed by the cast. And this is also Matt Shankman's first movie. This is his first movie that he did.
Oh, nice.
So you got a first-time director, and and now you're you worry about your film, and then you got to worry about the performance of your lead star. And so sometimes that can get. Sometimes it can sink a movie. That's definitely not the case here. I mean, it's a small distraction, but it's not going to take away anything from the power of this film, in my opinion. I mean, what did you and Monty? You said you had never heard of this one before either. I take it.
No, I actually did not hear about this one. I don't even remember being marketed at all.
Yeah.
It's one of those rare films that A24 did before it got popular with some of his horror films and some of his other independent films that it made, but never heard anything about this at all. So when I started watching it, it's like, I've never heard of this film before. It's because it's so much similar. You could from the type of story, the setting, the characters of Fargo. You know, so it's not as eccentric, but the story is similar to Fargo. And it's like, well, how come this film didn't get the praise that Fargo got? But I could see why when you watch the film. Unfortunately, you know, when your main lead can't catch up or at least try to do the same thing with the regular stars. So when his scene comes up, you get bored. You're waiting for the other characters there because they're more interesting, but he's the focal point of your story.
I agree with that. I agree with that. It would be interesting. You know, we're talking about, you know, he this movie was filmed in 2013, came out in 2014. You know, you want to go back and you want to go ahead and bring, you know, what would happen if I remember right, didn't they have they pretty much had a pretty solid cast in Fargo. And you mentioned one thing about Fargo that I liked in Cut Bank. I liked that it wasn't so eccentric. Like, you know, Fargo is sort of like sometimes in Fargo, you could almost feel somewhat the tension, you know, of trying to be a Coen brothers. You know, like it's not like what would I say, what would the Coen brothers say, and then you try to mold your performance into that. And I think sometimes a little bit too much of that, you know, it feels like it's being lathered on. It's not quite natural. Whereas I felt for Cut Bank, I did feel that. I felt the naturalness of it. It flowed. I mean, it wasn't, you know, it was like it was seamless for me, and the storytelling.
Yeah, I had some issues with I think for me too, because Liam's was Dwayne, right? Was that his name?
Yes,
Dwayne.
Dwayne.
Yeah, I had issues with him, and I did have issues with Theresa Palmer's character. I forget her name, but she was kind of driving me. She was very eccentric to me.
Cassandra is her name.
Oh yeah, her character bothered me. So when I was with her or Dwayne, it kind of took me out. But a great cast, yeah. But I could see some definitely eccentric with her character. I think that was intentional, though. I get what you said. I get what you're saying. Yeah, she just threw me.
I'm going to go with you on that. I'm going to go with you because I will say this about the women characters in this movie. I do wish. I mean, they were when they were on screen. They really were good. I mean, the waitress who was living in the past. I mean, living in the way past. You know, she's even, she's telling, she's telling Cassandra how she won, and then she has the interaction with Derby, and we're talking like 10, 15 years ago, but she's still living in that one glorified moment. I thought that was interesting. I like I love the lady post office worker. I mean, they didn't get very much to do, but when they were on screen, they really sparkled. I do wish that Theresa Palmer's character would have had a little bit more screen time, because she really is a very fine actress, and she could definitely do the weight.
Agreed. Yeah. And I guess they were like that too, because the Cut Bank is such a small town. You know, you may be living in the past when you have those big events. You know, like Mrs. Cupcake or the Cut Bank. Yeah.
I want to go with Cupcake.
Yeah, it's a cupcake. Well, it's interesting because they capture small town living, not to be stereotypic, but I think what it paints and highlights is people in small towns. Everyone knows everyone. Everyone remembers those pivotal moments that take place. And sometimes you're born there and you live the duration of your life there in its entirety. And so when you get to interact with people, especially the exchange between the waitress character. I think Gretchen with Cassandra. It's like actually her taking interest in something that was so impactful to Gretchen is almost like pride in that, and her wanting to kind of highlight a time in her life that she remembers fondly because it was probably really the biggest thing that maybe happened to her. We still find her in this town older in life, and realistically she might stay there again in its entirety. And even the postal worker, like aged, right, leads you to believe that she was born in this town and actually
no one leaves
job and has stayed there and will retire there and live out her life there. So
it's funny. It's funny how we have Big Stan saying how he didn't they were talking about shit with Sheriff Bogo and Big Stan were talking, and I couldn't, I was listening to their dialogue, and Big Stan was telling Vogel how, there was a girl that left, and she wanted Vogel to go with, she wanted Vogel to go with her, and he didn't. But I was sitting there watching that, and I'm watching him, and I could tell you this, and I don't know if you agree with this or not, but I don't think Vogel was in that town all that time. No, not by half. I think there was some. That's what I was talking about when I was thinking about the movie. I'm thinking, man, there's a lot more stories to be told in this town and Vogel would be my number one because he it was like watching a hibernating bear wake up. It was like, he's been sleeping all this time, and then something like this pops, and then all of a sudden now he wakes up. Because to me, his character was the one I was most fascinated with in this movie. His Sheriff Vogel was he really his story is the one I really wanted to hear. Though I did enjoy and you could tell the hierarchy, and what's really interesting is like the incident where Dwayne comes into the house and he says, "Hi, Stan." He says, "That's Mr. His last name Riley or Staley or whatever it was," and it's just, or he says, "Call me sir."
Yeah.
And then he turns around and says to the sheriff, he says, "Well, what do you think?" To the sheriff, he goes, "That sheriff will go to you."
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we're getting the hierarchy here. Now we know who's who. Let's see. The chat is here. Corey is here hanging out with us.
Corey?
And so is Dell. Dell says, "Unfortunately, I haven't seen it, but you know what, Dell, you will after this show here. I definitely see you talking about this movie on your channel somewhat soon. I really do. This is actually a movie that would be. Yeah, we'll have to think about that next month when I bring you guys all back. I'll have to bring Dell back to the party because I got more. I got more of it. That's right. I've been hiding out on you, Monty. So before we get more into each character, let's talk a little bit about the story. Wow, what an interesting story. I'm going to let one of you guys lead it off on the story.
Yeah. Can you want to do a synopsis? Kara, great with synopsis. I do the best I can, and people can add on to it. Well, I found it is that without giving too much away, we meet our title character, Liam Hemsworth character, back right in this town that he wanted to get far, far away from to take care of his father who's ailing. And then we are connected with other members who inhabit this town. And the best way I can describe it is a ruse, if you will, that should have gone one way for financial gain goes completely haywire, all because of a parcel that needed to get to its rightful owner. Yes,
yep.
Yes,
Pretty much.
Almost. You mean the parcel?
Yeah,
Yes,
the parcel. And all of
was,
the mess that ensues because of it.
Great. I mean, it's amazing because he comes up. Dwayne comes up with an idea.
Yep.
And there's a lot of parts to that idea too. Like the chain can be broken at any time. I mean, and that Dwayne didn't think this all the way out because you know,
Mhm,
because he would never would have involved George. George just was like he was crazy.
Oh my
The
God,
postman.
Bruce Dern,
I know, such a great actor.
legend.
Yeah. Yeah, very
Uh,
unstable people in this ruse.
Yeah, I would describe him, but like, you know what's interesting about his character, Georgie? Clearly someone who has been exhausted by the life he's lived in the
Mhm.
role of like
Mhm.
his career, right? Even
Mhm.
how, you know, without giving too much away, the exchanges he has in this
Yeah, with
film with
people. Yep.
Darby and just people in general. It just
Mhm.
really shows you someone who's like resentful, like bitter, just
Mhm.
like done.
Mhm.
It's like for me, it felt like he was probably pissed off that he's been stuck in cut bank for all of his life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pretty
uh,
much, I agree with you, Dale. Pretty much, Bruce Dern is some of the roles he's played. He's
Yeah,
always acting crazy.
always. Yeah, he do.
It's Hollywood legend right there.
I know.
Hmm
The father of the great Laura Dern.
I know. I
hmm
know.
um, the scene that you know, and what's interesting about Georgie is the fact that he writes a lot of checks, and then when people try to cash them, then he's like, "Well, I was just kidding. I was just kidding." But you can tell by his language and his demeanor that he meant every word he said. But
Mhm.
when people decide to sit there and want to discuss it with him, then he's like, "I was just joking."
Mhm.
You know, he did that. He did that 3 different times, and the last time he didn't. Well, there won't be a fourth time.
Mhm.
He
Yeah,
just ran it.
yeah.
He just ran it for one time too many, and and he really wasn't a. You know, it was like more. You could tell by him and not so much Mash, but definitely by Georgie that Georgie was going along with the plan, but he really never had any faith in it.
Mm.
I don't
And
think he was
just
able to commit to it. Like it was almost like the worst people to come up with a plan who couldn't see it through. That's how I
Yeah.
viewed it. Like just even the way he was hiding out. Like
Mhm.
there was no thought in terms of
Mhm.
committing a crime of this magnitude in this small town.
hmm
Like
Yeah,
the
they
police
did not.
investigated well. They didn't think this through by
They
any
didn't think it
means.
through at all. Yeah.
No, no, very poor planning.
Mhm.
But but I guess that's one of the aspects when you have a small town like this, and the people are not unfortunately very well educated.
Mhm.
So unfortunately, when they come up with something as cockamamie as this, he knew it was not going to work to begin with.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's like a brilliant thought, but poorly executed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And when you try to do things out of desperation too, they don't ever really seem to work out right.
Mhm.
no,
And who could have
no.
thought the underlining threat there no one saw coming?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that was, you know, that was 2 things that got thrown got thrown into the spanners, so to speak, is the fact that Big Stan, who's the father of Cassandra, who's, you know, Dwayne's sweetheart, and you know, he's staying with him and you know, and working for him as well.
Mhm.
And Big Stan does not really have high regards to Dwayne,
Mhm.
and you know, he's like, I'm watching you. You know, for a minute there when he said that, says, I got my eye on you. You sort of figure out that does he know what's going on already? Because
Mhm.
he seems to
Has
know
an
a lot.
inkling, of course.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yes. And of course, Billy Bob Thornton comes in there and does another outstanding job. Wasn't Billy
Mhm.
Bob Thornton in Fargo too?
Oh
I
yeah, I think he
don't.
was. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let
Was
me
he?
see.
I
Hold
think he
on.
was.
Oh, I can't even look it at my phone.
I think you
I
might be
might
doing that with Sling Blade.
get my hold on. Let me get my
Yes, he
chart.
was in Fargo. Yes, that's right.
Okay, yeah. He was in Fargo. Yes.
Okay. Because you got me thinking about that movie and going like, I know that Frances McDormand because she's in
Oh,
everything.
the simple
Mhm.
plan.
Frances
Right.
McDormand was in it, and William H. Macy and Billy Bob Thornton. The only 3 people I know for the movie.
Yeah, that was a great
Uh,
cast too.
Yeah.
It's a
She was
great
great in
cast.
Goliath too.
Yeah, so he comes over there, and you know, he's got his eye on Dwayne. You can definitely feel the pressure on Dwayne's shoulders, you know, because what Dwayne has done is he has inspired with 2 other people to get $100,000. because he wants to leave. He wants to leave Cut Bank, but he doesn't want to leave with empty pockets.
Mm-hmm.
And so he comes up with this wild ass scheme, that they come up with, and it's not very well thought out of. But then again, think about it though. If you really think about it, it really was, because who in the hell would ever have thought that somebody would actually go out there, unlike Sheriff Vogel, and investigate a damn shoe print?
Well, you know why? You know what I was thinking? You know why I knew like the sheriff would do that? Because I don't know if everyone caught this, but he said there's never been a murder there, which is shocking. With a town that small, this has never happened there. So for something of this magnitude to happen to the postman of all people, it's just like, okay, what's going on here? I have to get to the bottom of it. Like it was almost like intent on, which spoke to how seriously he took things. Right? It wasn't something that he just dismissed or didn't like kind of follow up on to the best of his ability.
Well, what's funny is that Milton, he was actually doing more of the investigative work, because the sheriff seemed a little bit at the time, like I said, he was sort of seemed to be like sleeping. Like as soon as he heard about the shooting, he vomited. He's like, oh my god. He got sick. Derby, on the other hand, he, as soon as the postmistress, she says, that, George got killed on Highway 358, he zips on out there. He's sort of like almost on the spectrum in that regard. I thought that, well, maybe he's, maybe he's AD8, HDD, ADT or whatever, like he's focused on this, because he comes out and his package is not there. He's suspecting his parcel is not there, and so when it's not there, he decide to go looking for it. And and he's just on a one man mission to find that parcel. He doesn't know anything around. He doesn't know anything about what's going on, about the conspiracy. He doesn't care. In fact, someone actually said that they were surprised to still see him in town. They thought that he had left.
Yeah, or that I think they said too that he was still alive. You're shocked that he was still alive. Yeah. Well, I think you learned so much. His character to me was we learned a lot about his character towards the end in terms of the reveal. But I think that his character, I completely understood exactly his psyche when he had that exchange with Dwayne's character with his father there. If you recall the conversation about an incident he has to be involved in and how he saw human beings, almost the worst of how human beings are in terms of animals. That's all I'll say. And then withdrew from society because of how he viewed humankind and kind of formulated his own idea of reality. So when he didn't get the parcel, even when you realize what it is, it was impactful to him. It was very important because it signified what he considered valuable in the life he created. Yeah, and brought him back probably to that story, like you said again, how humans can do such evil things, harmful. Always cause harm. Yep.
So I do got a question that I wasn't 100% sure of. So we know that he's a taxidermist. Did he do that to those people in that display?
Oh, see, I didn't think maybe there's a different. I took a different takeaway. I don't know
either.
That's a good question, though.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if they were real or not,
because they're entirely life size. I'm going like, did he? And I think when the Vogel's standing there, the way he's standing there and the way his mouth is looking, and that's what got me thinking about it. I'm going like, oh shit, maybe those are actually real people.
He did mention. Remember, didn't he mention one time when he was telling that story that recently, he did withdrew, but then recently didn't he talk about poachers coming near where he lived and having to take care of that?
It might have been, because I was just like couldn't. It was just his whole reaction to it. It wasn't like, oh, that's interesting. It was like one of horror. Like like we saw that his whole demeanor was like. It wasn't like a fascination, like, oh, that's weird. It was like.
Yeah, I got that it might have been because like that story he told, because he said he had interactions with people again, even though he withdrew. And again, they weren't doing the right thing. He talked about poaching, so I took it as maybe he did something to those people. I don't know. I didn't. Well, again, this is why it's so good because everybody can have a different takeaway. The reason why I didn't think that was actually one I kind of looked at when we think about people in that trade, everything looks realistic. That's the purpose of the work that they do. And so I took it as, and because like I expected like if those were real people, like the same way we saw police at like the junkyard, there would have been like the scene where like there was a more expanded on in terms of these two people who are dead and like were missing. What I took it as is when he looked at the poster, that was his version of a good life, and he created from the skill he had those images down to the fine details because they looked exactly like the people. That was my takeaway.
Very up to interpretation. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was just like because I didn't think about that until I was sitting there watching Vogel's face and going like, did I miss that the first time around? Are these not? Are these maybe
I'm not sure.
You know,
Actually, not sure.
So the character we're talking about, this is a character that we highly recommend you watch this movie for. It's Derby Milton, and he puts on a performance. Now I know this might be controversial, might be a hot take, but I'll match it up, and I'm sure I want to hear what you guys say. I matched this up with Javier Bardem performance in No Country for Old Men. I would match it up.
I could definitely see.
I could see it, but I think not to cut you off here, but I think he as I would say is not as vicious, but not as cold blooded as Javier Bardem's No Country for Old Men. But I can see the similarities. But then again, you got to give him credit that air gun that he used in order to kill people. You've never seen that before in any type of a film. So you got to get what I think is Chango. That was his name in the film, and No Country for Old Men. Yeah, so I give him a little edge between him and
I would definitely give him the edge in the sense that that's what he's trained to do. He's an assassin. That's what he does. Whereas Darby, he's just living his life, but he is absolutely a machine. I mean, look at the first time he walks in there with Match, and you expected them to be, they're going to start talking. Match can't speak, but they're going to go back and forth, and he's going to leave. Who in the hell saw him do what he did? He would have beat him. Regardless of how it happened, but he would have taken that man. There's no doubt in my mind. He was insanely strong.
Yeah, I think there's obviously some backstory like with that character because the way he was able to, even a guy at the bar, so Match and a guy at the bar, the way he was able to disarm him, there's something in his history that the way he has this type of skill. I think it's definitely similar in the fact of No Country for Old Men, where they had a specific target that they needed to obtain, and anyone in their way trying to prevent them from getting it, they were determined to get that.
You know what's interesting though? I looked at Darby as I see the similarities, but I look at Darby very differently because I think that the way I view him is his intention was not to harm anyone. He was very simple. Like, and you see even his intentions in terms of like, what if you, again, I just want this one thing. And I honestly think if people would have just given him his parcel, even when you see the scene in the garage with the two, Dwayne and Cassandra, his intentions are very clear. You treat me well, I'll treat you well. If you just give me what I want, I'll go about my way. Every time he confronted someone about the simple thing that was his, everyone put up roadblocks. And so it was even the incident with Natch. He didn't go there, in my opinion, to kill this man. I think, the knife was there. Like, they got into a tussle, and he ended up, perishing as a result, right? But it was not that I went there intentionally trying to cause harm. I went to get A, and B happened. The same thing with Georgie. I got to think about, he went there very clear until things turned left. So I just feel his intentions were very different, where in No Country for Old Men, it was, I'm trained, motivated, regardless of who I confront. This is what I'm trained to do. So I don't see anyone in terms of whether you were causing me harm or not. If you're in my way, I still need to meet my objective versus, oh,
Yeah.
people were in
But
my way.
the thing with him too is people didn't see him as a threat. You know what I mean? So, so when you're confronted with him, from what people's perception of him was in that town, they didn't see him as a threat, so they didn't take him serious. They didn't take him seriously. But again, like I agree with you, Kira. He just wanted his one specific thing. But I do feel like if he was met with resistance, as we saw,
he'll definitely stand his own. But I think if he would have got his parcel, he would have retreated back to the insular life he created, and everybody be best. Like, do your thing.
But I also think too that with every encounter that he got, his grip on, his grip basically on reality, I guess, it slipped. Because every encounter he had going forward got more violent. I mean, the only reason why he didn't kill that barman was because there's like 3 other people there. Otherwise it would just been him and that guy from the bar. He would have took him out.
I don't know.
Well, you know what I question though, Patrick, which is really interesting, which leads me to believe that he isn't motivated by violence. I even think of Cassandra. When Cassandra entered the home, it was very easy when she was confronted with the gun to just enter life there. Even I just feel as though there is this piece to him where I'm trying to just simply get a need met, and if you could just meet that need, there would be no reason for me to escalate or to cause harm. Like even at the bar when he did the yellow pages, and the bartender to me felt like he was he just wanted to get the pages and get out the bar. But okay, you insert yourself now in front of me. Okay, you're gonna get the brunt of it because now you're the barrier again to what I need to happen. I just felt like he was very different for me, like an interesting character in terms of like.
Well, what do you think about when I can understand him taking Dwayne, right? I can understand that. I could not understand why he would take Kathy, because all he had to do was, he even told her, is close your eyes. Now you haven't seen me. All he needed to do was tie her up and tape her eyes or cover her eyes and put her in a room. No one's going to find her for a long time. The fact that he took her is an escalation.
I thought. Oh, sorry, Mika.
Oh no, I thought for that though, it's just easier to have her with me because you could put her somewhere and lock her somewhere. But to me, I would think she could get out and she could alert people. I just think it's easy to.
See, I didn't even think that. You know what I thought? Even though Derby was quite strong, it wasn't lost on me that Liam Hemsworth was bigger. But what did he love and value the most? Cassandra. And so I have Cassandra, like she's in harm's way, whether you get the upper hand on me anyway. I have this gun. I can either take out her or take out you, but I have you more under my control with your prized possession with us as well. That's kind of how I that a bit.
I can see that. Yeah.
Well, I think when you find out, because Dwayne's a big guy, he's a big guy, and all of a sudden, like Sheriff Fogel goes and finds Matt, and he tells him, he's like, Matches. I mean, because Matt is a big dude.
Oh, Matt was big,
and then he goes, okay, and then he finds out that the other person is, gone as well, and he's coming. He's coming, and the fact is that Derby actually put him in a position where he could not fight. Dwayne, what he should have did was he should have took the rifle to the outside, but anywhere that because what Derby did was he put him in the room to where Dwayne had no action. He couldn't fight in his house because he was in his dad's room. He couldn't fight. Then he couldn't fight again outside the house because he had Cassie. His hands were, and theoretically they were cuffed. So even if he wanted to take, to take him out, or at least try, he still couldn't because there's just too much risk involved. And I think that, because it wasn't like he was I don't think Dwayne was a wimp at any level, but I think that he realized that there's just nothing for him to do. If he fights, his loved ones could get hurt. And it just wasn't, he was going to try to, I would have tried to, because you want that parcel, right? I mean, if you kill us, you're not going to get it. You don't know where it's at. We do. You need it. You want it that bad. You might be able to negotiate that, and you might too. But then again, there's another part of escalation too, that I thought for sure after he told the story about his dad, I'm thinking, okay, well, there's a little compassion there because he knows his dad. So he must have seen Dwayne grow up, So you think there'd be a little bit more compassion there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But no, you're driving in the truck and you put a round by Dwayne's head, and it's like that's not very friendly.
Yeah. But again, too, it was interesting too because, like, didn't he say that he was there with his dad the whole night?
Yes.
Right. Yeah,
Yes.
like like you said, he has opportunities to take out individuals who are close to Dwayne. So it's like,
Well, he worked with his father, so
Yeah,
that
but-
wasn't lost. Yeah, that wasn't lost to me. It's like they actually were co-workers. So the assumption is that they were closely together.
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying,
Yeah.
like, that's when you see that he has these two sides. Yes, he has this violent side, but you specifically see times where he could have, like I said, he could have killed his father if he wanted to. He could have killed Cassandra if he wanted to. You know what I mean? He was with him all night. He just sat with him.
And you know what scene was so interesting to me? This really showed like his capability to kind of manage, like even like, so for example, even in that storage scene, Dwayne saw his face. He knew who he was. He was very intent on getting what was his and leaving. It wasn't until he felt that he was double crossed that he said, "Oh wow!" And I'm going to paraphrase it, but I literally did you no harm, and the expectation was that you do the same. And because you didn't, now I have to do this. I wasn't though.
And again, and it is again reminds you of Anton Chinga from No Country, because he didn't have to kill. He just used the coin to flip it. If the coin landed right, then and same thing with Derby. It's like I could hurt you, but I choose not to. And so I think the only thing missing was probably the coin, or the parcel was the coin. In a sense.
I think it's Patrick, it really depended for me who he encountered. So for example, like if you think about Georgie, after that entirety of that speech and the mocking and the way he spoke, and then it was one of those things where like this was a person who probably was, okay, the information led me here, now I'm encountering you, oh, this is what I'm looking for. And as simple as just giving this man what he was looking for,
just tell him where it is.
He really belittled, degraded him in terms of the language that he used, and then the nerve of him. All I say is coffee mug. That's when it was like, okay, you took this man to lack of patience, insulting him, belittling him, degrading him, injuring him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the chat real quick. I don't know if you met this next person who just walked in, but if you haven't, this is our good friend Michael, and he has the best YouTube channel name, and Heroic Waffles.
Oh, I love it.
Erotic waffles.
Yeah, Heroic Waffles. I love it. Oh my God, I love it.
That's the best channel name I've ever seen in my time.
God, Patrick, I agree.
The only question I have is that what the hell was in that parcel?
I don't think it was. I think it was just the name, right?
It was actually nothing, because he asked him that. He asked him, he goes, "What's in there?" And he goes, "Nothing." It was just the he just needed to complete his he needed to complete a shadow box.
Yeah,
isn't that weird? There's nothing in the lunchbox.
Yeah, I knew once I saw the photo, I knew it was just the bag. You just needed that piece for the collection.
What's so interesting? It shows what people value, right? Like, in terms of the importance of what we value.
And the fact he killed two people for it.
Yes. Yep. And he definitely did not like Bruce Dern talking back to him, because Bruce Dern died awfully hard.
Yep.
That was not a he could have took him out with one. He made sure he didn't. He definitely was not happy with Georgie.
I thought Georgie's character was interesting because the sheriff, like how he described him to everybody in town, like the sweet mailman. And then when you really see him in that interaction, he really is to be a not nice person, especially the interaction. Yeah, he was really mean. Yeah,
really was. That one lady baked him a pie, and he just tossed it without, it's like, wow, And you don't know if it's not because it's good or not. It's just it doesn't matter. All it does matter is you just see him just do it because he's just being an asshole.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't trust the. Yeah, I'm like that too. Though I don't trust the foods. I might take it and be like, thank you, and then just put it to the side.
Well, he was even offended, like in that when he was talking to Darby, he was even offended by the fact that he had to make this once a year trek to where he lived. Like it was like
Right.
in the woods. It was like just
Oh yeah.
the name call, and it was just so personal for no reason.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, there was no reason for that
Mm-hmm.
at all. I want to talk a little bit about Sheriff Vogel because, like I said, I thought his character,
He's my favorite.
more so, I thought his character was so fascinating to me. Is the fact, like, it's just like, you think that he's just a small town cop, and of course, according to what they said, that he's been there all this time. But like I said, if you really think about some of his actions, I don't really think he was there in Cut Bank all this time. I think he did some other things. Don't know what, but
And
but
they
he
don't say anything else about his character other than the fact he's been the sheriff there. But we don't know much about his character, whether he actually lived in Cut Bank all this time, or he just relocated there.
Yeah, I think
because you
the
don't
only
really
movie. I'm sorry.
the part, you see him, first you see him like this is the first murder this town has had, and he gets sick. He gets sick for the first time. He goes over and he finds Match. He gets sick again. And at first, his again, it's like he's sort of sleepwalking because he doesn't really know really what to do. He doesn't screen off the where Georgie got killed at. He didn't put any wrap around there. He didn't go out there with the CSI team. It was sort of like he didn't know really what to do at first. Like how do I, and that's really what made Milton so interesting, is the fact that he went out there, discovered there was two shoes. One shoe was really, really big, and he goes to the shoe shop and he finds out who's wearing this size of shoe. Now that's something that you expect a cop would be doing, Sheriff Vogel would be doing, not Derby, and it was just like, wow, that's really interesting. But and then then he goes, and then when he gets, but then we start seeing Vogel starting to show off a little bit, going off a little bit. Even when he does get sick, when he goes see his Match, the one thing I noticed right at the bat was when he pulled up, he came out with his gun unholstered. He saw the open door, he came out with his gun unholstered. Now, honestly, most small cops would even think about that because they know the person, and you don't get any impression at all. Like he wasn't calling for backup or anything like that. He's going to go talk to Match because Match worked for Big Stan. So he felt comfortable enough to go over there and just walk up to the guy's house. But when he saw the door was open, he comes out there with his gun out. Mm-hmm. I thought that was interesting, considering like he probably does know the guy. And
I took it as to me that he has been there for most of his life. And I think he reacted initially what I would expect as a small town cop, like probably no big crime is happening in Cut Bank, definitely not any murders. so I to me he kind of reacted the way I would expect. Like what am I doing? Like I haven't seen bodies before. I'm throwing up or not calling the proper authorities. So to me, his reaction was no experience with this. But once he got acclimated to what was going on, then he started to get in gear.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, Monty. Oh, Patrick, I don't know. The one thing that I did think of with his character was there was little nuggets again. I actually took a different take in terms of I thought he was very well trained with little things. Like now Darby, I'll give him the shoes. But Vogel picked up on the tire marks. When he got back, you guys recall, he went back to the station or what their station was and told the woman there to look up Pacific cars with these type of tire marks. And it actually ended up being I forget the Match's car. Like he picked right up on that when he was looking at the tires. Like I forgot how he worded it, but looking for these type of cars. And then as soon as you saw Match's truck, it was like, there you go, that's the car. And even when he went to speak with Dwayne and got more information about like asking him just some follow-up questions and then learning about, oh, Match wasn't here today and he didn't show up today. Okay, that leads me to believe there's something going on there. And you know, we do assume that he probably never left the town, but one thing that I noticed between him and Stan's character was that Celine Towers, which was the girl that they both were quite fond of. You saw the exchange between his current wife and bringing up her name. And even when Vogel says she wanted him to leave, well, Stan says, oh, she wanted you to leave and you stayed. Like they had this conversation about he had the potential to leave. There was a reason he chose to stay, and who would do that? We don't know, but he did. And he also tells Stan, like, oh, you had your chance, right? Like, so clearly he loved her too, or wanted to be with her. And even his wife insinuated that she knew something to that. It was interesting. They gave these little nuggets at different points.
It was interesting because to me, it's like, it's almost contradictory because in a sense, like, yeah, has he been there the whole time or no? Because he starts rounding into form really quick. You know, it's like yes. I mean, it's not small. Look, if you're a small town sheriff, you're not going to suddenly develop all of a sudden these super detective skills, you know, and you're just not going to do that. You're going to be like, but Vogel, like you said, with the tires, yeah, he missed the boot, but he was spot on with going to Match's house. He's also spot on when he went to Darby's house. And, you know, now he had a little rough time in it, but then again, he came in there and he pressed the action. He pressed it. He went inside the guy's house. You know, no search warrant or nothing. Something in the back of his head was tingling, and he tries the door. The door was resistant. It wasn't like he just kicked it in or just opened the door. He had to put some muscle into opening that door, but he still went in it. He still went in there, and it's like a lot of small town cops. You're not going to see them just walk into somebody's house because it's probably somebody they do know. And he knew who Darby was because when they passed on the street, when Darby came out of the post office and Sheriff Vogel came down, he looked and saw him and kept his eye on him. And Darby kept his eyes down. Like he may have saw Vogel, but he wasn't going to make eye contact with him. But Vogel, as he drives by, he sees him in town. He knows that's abnormal. And I'm sure that that probably he put that in his, he probably kept that to the side. Like, okay, that's a little unusual, especially now what's going on, in the town. So will that be something I see later on? I saw how he handled the postal worker from DC. Like he wasn't overwhelmed by the guy's big city slick talk. He's just letting him sit there and letting him run his mouth as long as he didn't say anything too out of line to Cassie. He's like, it was very interesting watching his character grow. And even when he fell into the house, I could understand his reaction for that, but he was a little bit jumpy, but not enough to go out, but well enough to go in because he kept going inward. He kept going in, even though he had a terrible scare. He could have walked out there, called for backup or whatever it was. He didn't. He kept going into further into the house, and that's why I thought when he opens the door and he saw the still lives and its face, I wasn't sure if they were bodies or not. Like I was like, okay, are these? I mean, because he didn't put his hand on them. So that was one thing I wish they could have cleared that up a little bit better. Like, are they dead? Are they taxidermied out? Or are you going to come back later on to investigate that? You just didn't quite know. But his facial expression was, that's really creepy, and believe me, that was mine too. That was my expression.
Jarring.
Yeah. Well, what do you think? I mean, that's how I saw it. But how do you guys see it? How his progression?
Yeah, I thought it was just a natural progression. Like I feel like he didn't leave the town because when they talked about the girl that they liked, it seemed like he had an opportunity to leave. So he's been at that town. He's just stayed there. So I just assumed he's always been there. But I just think as it progresses, he just has that like the confidence, the reflexes. He just acclimates to the situation. That's how I took it.
Yeah, I took it the same way too.
I think the two things that got me thinking otherwise was the fact when he had, when he like he's followed Derby to the the last third of the movie. He follows him after he leaves Dwayne and Cassie in the storage shed. He's waiting for him. He's sitting there. He's watching him. He drives out, and at first it looks like he's going to kill the guard because he's already he's seen him, so he's going to kill him. But there's Vogel waiting for him. And he tells him to get out of the car, and then when he gets challenged, this is what got me going was he only took 3 shots. 3 shots. Now this is a guy you're not expecting to go out there and shoot on the range every weekend, but he shot him dead on a moving car at night. He only used 3 shots, and I'm going like, that guy's been somewhere before. He's done this before somewhere because you don't have that skill. You just don't pick that up in a small town.
Oh yeah, well
no backup, either.
Yeah, I thought he literally probably is the only cop in this town. I mean, other than the scene with Georgie, of course, at that point now there's a trail of bodies. Usually in these small towns, when these things happen, you then have to call in. I'm thinking of like True Detective, the state police to come in and take over because you're just beyond your pale to sort of manage the scope of it. But I see what you're saying, Patrick, in the sense that in order to be a police officer in general, small town or not, you do have to go through training. And I think there is a question mark in terms of Celine left clearly. Maybe he left and then he came back and she wanted him to leave and he just chose to stay. I love that it's up for interpretation. But I definitely think that he was well trained, but in a town like this would have never, ever in a million years probably found himself in a situation where he was confronted with so much, but was ready to address it as he needed to.
And you don't really know his backstory. That's why I said he could have. We don't know how he grew up in the town. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just think about it. Here's a guy who goes from first he pukes just hearing about a murder. then he pukes when he sees his first body. And then he goes inside. Then you see him go further, and then he gets a little bit more confident. Goes inside the house, and then he goes for the showdown. The showdown with, and he's in there, and he's shedding as he's waking up. And
Wait,
also, now he's starting to see.
Yeah, you know what I'm thinking about though too. Again, another little nugget is when he goes over to Stan's house and Dwayne is there. He even shares with Dwayne how he had an interaction with his father and his father actually stood up for him. Like, so it kind of implied that there was a bullying situation. Dwayne's father helped him. So he maybe was always this person that was a little bit, not weak, but timid or a little bit weak. And he had said that, after that, he even seemed a little bit more appealing to Celine. And so it was almost like, thank you to his father for that small way of giving him this opportunity to be better than what he was in that moment. So
and I took
that's a little nugget that can speak.
Said too, Kira, after that story, I took this as this was now the second opportunity for him to build that confidence because he hadn't had any experience with this type of crime. You could tell that he's very timid with the throwing up. But again, this is now another opportunity to kind of take it on head on.
Yeah,
that's right. Time to be a strong man, man.
Oh yeah,
because
because
I find it fascinating because when it comes to small towns like Cut Bank, I don't know how large of a town you have to be before you actually get a sheriff to be in the town, and if it's not, either it's the state or the county that it's in that actually does the law enforcement. So obviously, the town is big enough where they actually need a sheriff in order to do some policing. But obviously, if they get overwhelmed because they don't have the experience or the money to actually do the type of crime. So that's when obviously you either call the state or the county that they're in. You know,
Oh, yeah.
I definitely think he had other. I think he has some deputy sheriffs. I mean, if you think about it, hell, even Mayberry had a deputy. You know.
Oh, well, you guys, you know what's so funny? Like, no, I have to share this. It's so funny. Meka and I live in Massachusetts, but like many, many moons ago in college, we did part-time dispatching, believe it or not, for one of the smallest towns in Massachusetts where it was a handful of police officers. And when I say nothing happened in this town, when someone did call 911, you were like, oh my God. Like I was scared and I was the dispatcher. So
you have days. You have days with no calls.
No calls. And I think that town, Meka, if I recall, only had one murder ever.
Yeah.
And
and you can have like one officer. That's it for the whole.
You always had to call from. It was called mutual aid. Like if something major happened, oh my God, call the next town. There's only one person on. That's so funny.
I'm surprised they had a dispatch.
Yeah, they had more dispatchers than they did cops.
The biggest thing the dispatch did, the biggest thing we did was like just that one cop would just pull somebody over.
Motor vehicle stop.
Oh, right. How many stops are they required to get per shift?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. But I felt the fear when something did happen. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, it depends on the cop. That's all they did. It depends on how many people drove the car. They just did the motor vehicle stop.
I did a ride along with my local PD a few years back, and the officer told me they had to have at least three stops. At least three stops where they give a ticket.
Look at that, Patrick.
I thought after that, so we see him take care of Derby, Theresa, and then the other thing that really caught my eye, and this is to me is what really pushed it over the top, that he's had a more mysterious past, is how he decides to go ahead and solve the problem with the posters. And what does he do? He brings out a damn silencer. Now, who in the hell in a small town is going to pull out a silencer?
Yeah, that's true.
I know that was funny.
Who does that?
I know. It's like, what the hell? What?
I'm telling you, Vogel had some skills, and he didn't get it from Cut Bank. And they come in there, and they put the vest underneath Georgie, and then he very calmly, very surely, and didn't not get sick. Popped 2 in the chest from the right angle.
But Patrick, didn't he say that's the first time he ever had to use his vest?
Yes, that's the first time.
Yeah, I believe so, because I think he was confident. I mean, he didn't use the vest against Derby.
That's true. Yeah.
So he had total. By the time that happened, Vogel, like before he was just, every day's the same, everything's the same, the more you do, the more it stays the same. I think this is, like I said, the way I described it before you guys got here was, he was like a hibernating bear. He's he's awoke now. He's up. He's ready to rock and roll. And so, he comes up there, and he just talks with Stan, and he comes up with the idea, like, here's what we're gonna do. And it was such a really, and it wasn't, Stan went along with it, but sure as hell wasn't Stan's idea.
Trajectory with Stan, though. He went from, in that action, it really did show his shift in terms of Dwayne. In his view, for me, it was more or less like that was a complete shift in terms of like, I'm going along with this. That says so much, in my opinion, without saying a lot to him.
And that could be too. I think too. His daughter. It was Cassandra, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think too. I think a part of him too was looking at her happiness as well, and maybe the best interest for her too in that decision making.
Maybe that's why he finally gave Dwayne that money.
I think they made the right call. Big Stan and Sheriff Vogel, and not giving him the money, because they said, if you get away with it once, this might be something you might want to do again in the future, and we really don't want that to happen. So here's what's here's the consequences. You're not going to go to jail for it, because he could have locked him up for so many different charges. But here's what we're going to do: we're going to give you an opportunity to make something of yourself and to leave. And don't do this again. And the consequences is you're not going to get the reward money.
Mhm.
And I think what it was I think they're going to take that reward money and take care of his dad for him.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
what-
yeah, and
that's
they
the
said
impression
that
I
he
got.
doesn't have to worry about his father. They'll take care of him.
Right.
Mhm.
So I like the way it ended.
Oh, yeah, I did
thoroughly,
too.
Oh, yeah,
I thoroughly
yeah.
agree with it. Yeah.
It ended nice.
Mhm.
Fitting.
You know, Dwayne and Cassandra go out into the sunset. You know,
Mhm.
hopefully he learns from his lessons. You know, can't do stupid schemes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they got a little bit of a pocket change from Big Stan that he has to pay back, but it'll help him a little bit.
And he'll pay back. I believe he'll pay back.
Yeah.
I have, when talking about this movie, it blows me away with just how good the cast was. I mean,
Oh, yeah, the cast
you
was
get an
good.
independent film like this, and holy crow! I mean, it is so strong. Michael Stuhlbarg played
Oliver
Derby. If you look at the cast and you think about all the movies they've been in, just an amazing cast.
Mhm.
And this was actually Matt Shatman's first film as a director. Now, of course, he's gone on to have major success. He has done, in fact, he just directed the first Fantastic Four movie.
Hmm.
Oh, I didn't
So-
know that.
He also got in on the Godzilla movies. He's
Oh,
also
sweet.
he also did he's also worked on in the MCU.
Oh yeah,
And,
he was in
he's
Doctor
also
Strange.
he's also directed several episodes of several great series, and he's got something new, one called Wild Things, some sort of miniseries. But
Oh.
he's got himself a really good resume. I mean, this is his first film that he directed, and you could definitely see that he was destined to do really good things. And his work has basically has fulfilled that early promise. What cast member? I mean, for me, I was really hooked by Stuhlbarg, who played Derby. I thought he stole the movie myself, but I really enjoyed the rest of the cast, top to bottom.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
I have to give
Yeah,
a
I
special shout out. Oh, go ahead,
Yeah,
Monty. Sorry.
yeah. I thought he did a great job as Darby because he is the main focus of the movie. It's mainly his character is the central point of the film, and I thought Michael Stuhlbarg, I think he did a really good job. Although those glasses look like
I know. Look,
those glasses.
let's start a fire.
Signature. Those are his signature.
I know.
On the special features, they said that the writer and the director said that after they cast Michael Stuhlbarg, they said they literally got 10 feet of email with him explaining who the character was.
Wow.
He said that was part of his process, but he sent him like 10 feet of paper detailing this
Love it.
guy's life.
Wow.
That's dedication.
Mhm.
You know what? I wish I could see Bill Scarsdale as a better fit for Dwayne's character. Like that
Oh,
would have
yeah.
been a cool, like
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do want to highlight everything that everyone said in terms of Darby, like all of the actors in this epic. I do want to do a special highlight though to Oliver Platt as the
Yeah, I love
inspector.
him. He always
though
come in.
he wasn't in a lot of scenes. The scenes that he's in every film that I've seen him in
Yeah, he's
is
a good-
so like funny. Like even I think the best scene for him in this film was when he's talking with Dwayne and like he's describing Washington. Like
Yeah.
he's like, oh, it's dirty, it's corrupt, it's angry, it's all of these things. And he said, oh, do you like it? I love it.
Yeah.
I
That's
think
amazing.
I think one of his best performances is Lake Placid.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
He's
he's
a-
really,
he's a
he's really
great
good in
actor.
that.
Yeah.
He's really good in that Chicago Med.
Yeah, Chicago
plays,
Pete.
uh,
Yeah,
like-
Chicago.
Man,
Yeah,
He's
such
a
a great
really.
actor.
I loved him in Lake Placid.
Yeah,
was
me
good in
too.
yeah,
No,
he's a very,
Time
very
to
good
Kill.
actor.
Oh yeah, he was in that too, Kira. Yeah, we
I
just
remember
watched
him
that
from A
again.
Time to Kill. Yeah.
We just watched it recently again. Yeah. He's one of those actors that are in so many roles. Like he's just like that
Oh,
background.
we could
actor.
goodbye Centennial Man.
Oh yeah, he's great. I love Oliver Platt. He reminds me. I always put him with like John Carroll Lynch, like these great actors who in all these movies, but they kind of they're not the forefront. But they play these great like either small roles, cameos, or side characters. Such great actors.
Man, John Carroll Lynch, that guy, he was really, he's done horror too. He played in Gothica. He was the bad guy in Gothica.
Great. Yeah.
Remember how surprised I was when I saw that. Because first there's Charles Dutton, and you're going like, okay, he's a good guy. Here's John, look, he's a good guy, and all of a sudden you find out that no, they're neither one of them are, and it's like because they're both known funny men and comedians, and I remember the first time I saw Charles Dutton not be a bad guy was in Surviving the Game. And it was the first time I ever saw him as being the bad guy. And I was like, I was so blown away because he's the good guy.
Yeah. No one talks about that movie though. Surviving the Game. It's like no one talks about that movie, and that's one of the better roles I've seen Ice-T do in a while.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that would be a good one to cover.
That's another good movie. I have not seen that out in the wild though. I look for that.
I wonder if you can even stream that or something. Probably not. Or like rent it? I don't even know. Probably not.
I'll have to see.
Let me see.
Let's go around with our final thoughts and ratings, and then we'll talk about what we're going to be doing next time.
Oh yeah, so I would give this film a 7 out of 10. I definitely feel like that's still high for me in terms of the cast, very exceptional cast. I did like the story. I think the only reason I don't give it higher than that is because I think with different casting for like Dwayne's character, the film would have been cemented more for me. And that's why I said, oh, Bill Skarsgård would have been great in this. I just think that was what was throwing me. He just didn't jive well with the caliber of talent that was present in this film. But again, did the best with what he had. But a 7 is what I would give.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that. I would say I would be comfortable with that number as well. I loved it. It kept my attention. I love like twists in movies. And the characters, a lot of the characters surprised me. I thought they were one way and totally surprised me. The cast was amazing. I think Liam did okay, but next to like the caliber of cast you have, he just gets lost. That's the thing. You know what I mean? Not that it was like a bad performance, but it wasn't a strong performance. He gets lost with that caliber of actors. But I had a good time with it. Yeah, I had a good time with it. So I feel good with it. I say 7 or 8.
Yeah, I gave it a 3.5. Like I said, it was a nice, decent film. A lot of characters going along. Like I said before, Liam Neeson, it's not Liam Neeson. Liam Hemsworth, it's like I don't know if he's riding the coattails off of Chris or not, but I haven't yet to see him do a good movie.
Yeah, he just is not cast right, I don't think. Yeah. With his brother too, no.
Well, I gave the movie an 8. I give it 8 because I really enjoyed watching of course, definitely agree with you about Liam Hemsworth was definitely the weak point of the film, acting wise. But I thought the rest of the cast was more than strong enough to carry him, and they did so. And it didn't really make it look like a hard thing to do either. We got to really make this guy look good. They had a struggle to do it. It was so good, and John Malkovich, really, really good performance. One of my favorite roles that he's ever done. And Michael Stuhlbarg too. He stole the movie for me. I was not like we mentioned before. I was shocked when I thought he was in Boardwalk Empire. I had no idea he played a main character. I was like, damn, I didn't even recognize him. I didn't. I think that's probably he'd probably be happy with hearing that too.
Yeah,
like
if he take those glasses off, he would probably would have recognized him.
Bruce Dern.
Oh yeah, Bruce Dern. Yep.
Would you guys like to come back next month and party again? I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, sure.
I think we should let Monty though, since he is Mr. A24. I think we should go ahead and try to pick the next movie.
Ooh, nice, Monty. No pressure.
No pressure on Monty. You don't have to do it right now if you want some time to think about it, Monty.
Yeah, I have some time to think about it.
Yeah.
Make it a good one, Monty.
Think of a good one.
Yeah, I'll think about it and I'll let y'all know what I decide.
Ooh,
And
exciting.
I think we should invite Dell to come up with and join the party next
Oh,
time.
that'd be awesome. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
You're more than
So
welcome.
Yeah, let's do that. Dell is still here. Know that he'll be joining us next month.
Love it.
Not sure what we're gonna be doing. I have to leave it up to Monty. Couple of quick things from me. A couple of quick shout outs. I want to shout out to our good friend Ben, the Cadaver Club. If you're watching this, of course.
Get well, Ben.
Ben is recovering from his accident, and hopefully he'll be coming back really soon. And another thing I have to say shout out is happy birthday to Rainbow Stardust.
Yes, Ray's birthday today.
Happy birthday.
That's right, the Ray's birthday. I tell you what, I keep on saying this too. I keep on saying to ever remake the Warrior, she has to play the DJ. I will die on that hill. She has to play the DJ. I'm hoping that if that ever happens, I'm going to be the first ones waving the flag, going, "We found your DJ." But as far as that goes, why don't you guys each tell us what's going on your channels before we get out of here?
Oh, well, Meka, I'll throw that to you.
Oh, well, as of now, we are traveling next week, so we're trying to figure out if we're going to just switch the date for our next live stream or just do a pre-recorded. But right now, we're just working on our September content and spooky season. We want to get it all out ready, ahead of time. So that's kind of what we're working on right now.
Oh, Meka, and I'll highlight we did a stream earlier today where we paired for double feature The Good Liar with Helen Mirren and Ian McKellen with The Wasps with Naomi Harris. And so if you catch the replay, we'd love your thoughts and a comment.
Yeah, it was all about
how was the good thing? I heard that's really good.
Very good.
They good. Both of them have the endings for both are like crazy. Yeah.
It's interesting. I went to the library this week, and guess what I found? I found the director's cut of Caligula. At my library.
Wow, see, the library is such a hidden treasure.
I never think I was forget to try the library. Yeah.
I was so surprised. I was like, there's no way it's factory sealed. No one opened up.
Wow.
And I'm sitting there. I'm looking at
my mother, who was very modest. Don't know why she went to go see that film, the full length version of Caligula, and when she came back, she was so embarrassed.
You know what it was.
She had no clue what it was.
Never forget it.
No, never forget it. When she told me that, I said, why did you let me know? I would have told you, no, Mom, you don't want to see that film.
Don't go.
Yeah. Like, I like the name.
It sounds exciting.
It sounds intriguing.
Yeah.
Monty, what's going on with your channel? Are you going to be in doing another horror hangout?
Let's see. If you want to see the replay of me and the horror hangout with the Wonder Twins, I believe that should be up on Triva's channel because she's the one that hosted it. I have my meeting rant of Ice Cube's War of the World. That's up.
That was classic. That was awesome. I listened to that one. That had me rolling.
Oh my god! I know, we had a fun time talking about it.
Man.
And again, I mean, I feel sorry for Ice Cube. I mean, because he's a better actor, and like I said before, again, he must have owed somebody a favor. I mean, he got some decent people in that film too.
Look at that. Oh my god!
Yeah, I heard that movie. I heard that movie was it's like easily the worst movie of the year so far.
Oh yeah, it is.
It's gotta be. Yep.
I said, how bad is it? Is it worse than because it's about 9/11? Or yes. I asked, is it worse than Charlie Sheen's 9/11 or the War of the Worlds? I asked if War of the Worlds was worse than Charlie Sheen's 9/11 movie.
Oh my gosh!
I haven't seen that one, but I heard that was like the worst movie of the year.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
Ice Cube is
Also, my review of Weapons is up on the channel right now, and I'll be getting ready to do my next recording. Oh yeah, I have two recordings of Women in Horror. One with Lisa Loves that should be coming up on the channel, and then I have another recording with a new person, the Deadly Killer podcast, Georgiana.
Oh,
Nice.
yes.
Lisa's great. I love Lisa. She's so much fun. I kept on telling the boys from the Cinema Squad after they lost their one guy. I says, you need to make Lisa part of your squad because she adds so much to it. She, and I don't know. I'm not sure if they're still doing anything anymore. I haven't seen anything from them post in a long time. But I was having so much fun when they were getting on there. She'd come on there. I said, you got to keep on adding her on, because she was just very talented. But yeah, well, let's come back. I'm September. If you want to come back in September 21st, Monty. I mean, it's a Sunday night.
September 21st.
Yeah, that'll work. That'll work for me.
Okay.
21st. Okay.
So the Midnight Society will ride again.
Very
I'm
nice.
having a lot of fun doing this too. And you can pick whatever you want, Monty, as far as covering. Doesn't have to be in any specific genre or studio. So anything that you want to talk about, you bring it to the party.
I will.
Yes. We'll be waiting.
All right, boys and girls. Thanks everybody in the chat for coming out. It's good seeing you, Del. We'll contact you about September 21st and have you come out and hang out with us. Waffles, good to see you again, man. Don't disappear on us again. Thank you to the Wonder Twins and to Monty, Mr. A24 himself. And we will see you. We'll see you on the YouTube streets now. But if we don't, we'll see you on the 21st of September. Over on Monty G's channel. Thanks so much, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Peace.
Bye. Bye.